We're already in the body. We're already in the field. We are already living all the levels, relatively speaking. We're already being used by the blood, mostly. And when we enter the Dharma, then it's a matter of balancing out what, let's say, the drives, the urges, and the programs of blood karma are, let's say, free to do, or at that point, what you're free to change about it. And that could be in terms of masturbation. Some guys just can't leave themselves alone, and maybe it's true of women. So, and then it's a matter of, well, is it bad or good, or you using it to make yourself feel better? Is it, in your terms, a self-medicating practice, or is it something that you don't need, and maybe you want to see what else you can do with the sexual energy, because it's not about the second chakra. It's not about what's down in that area of, let's say, the waste organs. It's not about waste organs. It's a transformer of power, right? And so then it's a matter of how does it work with the rest of the body. Sometimes we need to either think about that. Sometimes it becomes self-revealed, as it was in my case. I realized it was a source of energy that I wanted to do more with it instead of wasting it, in a manner of speaking. And so in going through rituals of observation relative to music, energy, I realized that it was much wiser and beneficial to keep the energy rather than wasting it and having less energy. So that was like common sense. Keep the energy for more energy. And then the regeneration of the energy. Right. Allow the energy then to become a form of bliss or happiness. And that was even better. And that's the ultimate purpose of having the body, is to understand that it's the potential of bliss, wisdom, emptiness, bliss. But sometimes some people have to take the route of yoga to become aware of that and become self-realized, so enlightened or awakened to the potential in their case, men and women. So how do you enjoy being human? Yeah. And not struggling with your body and the lack of energy the body too often suffers from. Right? So this is part of the paying attention to what the body is and what it does and what the habits are that you inherited, and what you can do with those habits to modify these programs to work for you, the individual that wants more energy, more happiness, more productivity, less neurosis, more creativity, and more intelligence. Higher consciousness, let's say, wisdom consciousness. This is possible.
Yeah, and before we were talking on the porch about drumming and you know how it could be more of an intimate thing.
It's absolutely intimate.
As opposed to a social thing, you know, so...
It's both. First, it's intimate. The drums come from inside. We are the heartbeat. We are the beating. We are the drum. We're living in the drum. We're living drums, all of us. So then it's a matter of knowing when you have a chance to practice drumming in a native sense, without ego, but just because of the beauty of it and the pleasure of it, and the therapeutic side of it, physical, rhythmical, and vibrationally, and let's say brain wavely resonant and harmony producing. So the brain and the rhythm and the body and the heartbeat are all part of the harmony. And when you're working with certain patterns, then you could be, in fact, harmonizing your elements, your organs, your body, mind, spirit alignment. And breathing is part of this, because when you're playing, your breathing is affected. So it's pranayama, it's yoga. Playing music then is a form of yoga.
Yeah, and you use the term rhythmic healing.
Rhythmic
So
healing.
it seems like these things are kind of related. You said, when you started to cultivate some of that energy, it became more about, using that energy for creative purposes. So I guess, some of the ego or, the ego drops away when you're not looking for some kind of outer...
Well, it doesn't exist, but we mock it up. We validate it. Unnecessarily, but, typically. So ordinarily, we're happy being egos and selves and everything but selfless, when in fact we are ultimately selfless beings who are born to use the ego masking for our purposes. Ultimately, without that mask, we can enter a higher purpose where that is no longer necessary. We don't have to suffer the effects of it or the mistakes it makes or the trouble it generates as a reactive defensive ego program.